Thank you, Carol. Thanks a lot. Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to BCTV, the Venture Capital TV from LATOKEN. And welcome you back. Some of you are, all of you are actually regular speakers, have been on BCTV. So before I start to open up the session today, I would just like to give you a bit of background about VCTV. So it's the Venture Capital TV. The main goal and objective of this platform, the online platform, is to connect investors with founders. So we have a lot of startups in our community who are looking for fundraising, who are looking for traction, who are looking for growth, who are looking for mentorship from experienced people, and looking for scaling up their business during this turbulent time. So basically, that's the whole idea. We bring in investors like yourselves to connect with the startups. Wow, I'm loving this panel. We've got a huge panel today. Considering we had just two speakers yesterday, today I've got full house, almost full house. And what I like about VCTV, myself as a host and a moderator, is that we have investors and speakers from all over the world. It's not only Asia that we sort of cater to, we cater to a global audience. And these people are dialing from various parts of the world. Again, today I have speakers from Australia, Far East Australia. We have people from Singapore, myself representing Singapore. I'm by the way, myself, Sunny Mohanty. I'm sure everybody of you over here know me, but just in case you don't know me, Sunny Mohanty, I'm the regional director of LATOKEN, and I'm based here in Singapore. So today we have a panel of speakers ranging from Australia, Singapore, India, and Malta, and United States, and Fabio, Italy, or you're moving? Italy, right. Florida, New York. So exactly. That's what our panels are all about. So today we have a 1 hour show. We try to finish it on time with all questions, insights coming from you guys. Today's topic is very, very on fintech and blockchain investments, trends, and is very much centered around those topics. So let's get started with introductions. First, I'd like to start with Australia. Richard Sator. Hi, Richard. Welcome to VCTV. How are you today? Welcome back. In fact, this is the third show, I think.
Hi, Sonny. How are you? And I was just telling everyone that I have Melbourne in the background. So if all of you wanted to know what Melbourne looks like, this is what it looks like. And just so that you all know, we're in lockdown. So this is the only image I have as well, too.
Right. Excellent. It looks beautiful, lit up and bright. I wish I could go and fly, but unfortunately not, but someday. Thank you, Richard, and welcome back. And a little short introduction about yourself and Vic Rewards so that people get a context.
Sure. So I'm the CEO. And Vic Rewards is aimed at providing the sustainability solution to healthcare. So we often think of solving healthcare problems with technology. Technology is absolutely part of the solution, but the other part of the solution is sustainability. And by that, I mean adoption. So Vic Rewards is about getting consumers to adopt new technology, in this case, blockchain.
Excellent. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that intro. Next, I'd like to go to Ajay. Ajay, who's been joining us for after a long break. Ajay, why did you join us in the last panels? We were like missing you, your insights. Welcome back to VCTV, by the way, Ajay, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah, unlike the background, this is not my background. Though we had a deluge, we had floods in the city, and so it does represent a bit of where we are today.
Right.
So I am the co-founder and managing partner of XC Partners. We do invest about 100K USD in early stage companies, and we look at tech-enabled companies. We do invest in fintech, edtech, and other deep tech companies. Have a portfolio of about 20 odd, active portfolio of about 20 odd companies presently.
All right, great. Welcome to Ajay, and we would like to know more about your state as well. You're dialing in from Hyderabad, is it? Or
Hyderabad, yes.
Okay, cool. The floods and everything. So I was just making sure. Thank you, Ajay. Next, we have Florian. Hi, Florian. Welcome back. And it feels like you were just yesterday. You finished the show and literally you just come back there. Welcome to TV.
Hi, Sunny. Thank you for the invite. And today I made it on time.
Yeah, of course you did.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. Normally I try to be on time, my German kind of heritage, but yesterday I completely forgot about the time. So I'm calling in from beautiful Malta. We have no floods, just beautiful weather outside. And I'm Florian, Flo, from originally Germany. I am a serial entrepreneur in the tech space and a investor. And my focus has been investment in green technologies and recently cryptocurrencies. I run my fifth company now. It's a startup called Neko. It's a stable currency for the common good. For our users, we generate profits, but also provide universal basic income and protect the climate. And our vision is to build a new financial system that supports the people and the planet.
Okay, great. Excellent. And welcome back, Florian.
Thank you, Sunny.
Okay, great. So next I have Fabio. Hi, Fabio. Welcome back. Same here, Fabio. You back after a while, actually?
After about a month or so. So I've been traveling, not too far, unfortunately, because with this pandemics, air travel is still not advisable. But for those who don't know me, I'm an economist by training. I have a PhD from the University of Chicago. Early in my career, I worked for the International Monetary Fund. Then I moved to the European Central Bank for the launch of the euro. Then I took the plunge and moved to the private sector in Goldman Sachs in London. Then I went on an exotic trip, moved to the Arabian Peninsula, first Qatar, then Dubai, and finally Oman, where I was the chief strategist and economist of the Sovereign Wealth Fund of the Sultanate of Oman. And now I'm a partner in an investment bank in New York with offices in Dubai and Hong Kong. And we do assist innovative companies to raise capital on the American capital market, particularly on the OTC market. And we also manage some funds which invest in very innovative companies, pretty much all around the world, but that are about to list or in a pre-IPO phase in the United States.
Great. Fantastic, Fabio, and welcome back to VCTV. So next I'd like to move to Louis, who was missed yesterday. Louis, how are you? Welcome back.
Hi, feeling good. How you doing, Sonny? How's everyone doing? All right, happy to be here. Just to give the skinny on me as I do. If you don't know me, find out. I've been involved in finance for over a quarter century and technology longer than that. Involved in artificial intelligence, AR, VR, blockchain, and basically, we look at innovation with the things that we do when we're involved with. I'm interested to hear what everyone's opinion or their views are on what's happening now, with right now in Fintech, with PayPal venturing in to cryptocurrencies with Venmo. It's going to change a lot of things. Square has been involved in it, but it's going to change a lot of things. So this conversation should get interesting if people are on top of that.
Absolutely. It's game-changing news. The news is everywhere, the PayPal news, to be honest. Thank you, Louis, for reminding that. Last but not least, Gary. Gary, welcome back. I've been looking at your updates all over Facebook and LinkedIn. Welcome back.
It's great to be here, Sunny. So my name's Gary Fowler, and I've been an entrepreneur doing startups for 35 years. I've created 2 unicorns. I write a lot. I've written 83 articles in the last year on artificial intelligence primarily. I started the first accelerator in Russia. So I lived in Russia, in Moscow, for 14 years. Also studied in Russia for 5 years. So know a little bit about it. I've been from Kaliningrad to Vladivostok, all through Central Asia, down through Azerbaijan and Armenia and Kazakhstan and you name it. And so I'm located in Silicon Valley normally, but now I'm in Palm Beach in Florida because we got stuck here. So I've been working out of my place here, which isn't too bad. But my whole thing is with GSD, I started a venture studio, and the whole idea behind it is there's a big challenge. There's 3 levels. 1 is acceleration, 2 is regional dominance, but then what do you do next? And a lot of Silicon Valley, I've been there for 36 years, is a lot about contacts and the network that you're in to be able to get funded. And still half the money in the world's located there. I've raised money from China there, Israel, Europe, Asia, just by being in the Valley. So it's a great place. And the body of law in Delaware is really transparent. And so it really helps those companies to go global. So we take companies from wherever they are, primarily AI companies, curate them, take operational roles in the company, take them out to Silicon Valley. I'm also building 100 million. My third fund is $100 million fund. I'm building out of Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Excellent. And by the way, I liked your interview with Samit Sharma from Intel, General Manager.
Yeah, the general manager of Intel. I don't even know when it was, yesterday, the day before, but he's the GM of Smart Cities. And then before that, I had Guy Kawasaki. And stay tuned, I have somebody that's very well known in energy and vehicles and space and all kinds of things. But I don't want to say the name because I don't want to jinx it. I have an astronaut coming on. I have one of the top NASA astronauts coming on. Just interesting people. The idea is, here we are in this digital transformation. Let's connect the dots like you're doing, Sunny, here. So
absolutely, Gary. Always happy to be, taking part in connecting the dots. Thank you so much. So we are all set with the introductions for the show. It's like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speakers for the day. We have 1 hour slot. We try to keep it short within 1 hour. We might, a little bit cross the timing, but that's okay. Today panel, we have people in the crypto industry, from the crypto industry, working in the crypto industry with the hands deep down in the crypto industry, Florian, Richard, especially, you guys. So we would like to understand from you, Richard, what are the trends? Where is the crypto industry headed to? Because it started being as a scam back in 2016 when I was like, trying to learn. Like 2016 was an okay year. ICOs were doing good. Come 2017, 18, there were a lot of scams. But now I think it's more serious. It's getting more serious by the day with PayPal, entering into the space, and a lot of institutional investors actually coming into crypto space. So just give us a rundown, like the insights, the perspective about the industry. Where's the market industry today, and where is it headed to from as per you? Thank you, Richard.
So thanks, Sonny. Look, I think, interestingly enough, in the last few months, I've been having a number of conversations with big investors all around the world. And look, I'd be interested in what others say on this particular point as well, too. But there are two really common themes that keep popping up, maybe 3 common themes that keep popping up that I feel is driving the crypto market now. Okay. And when I say that, I want to make sure you all understand that my expertise is healthcare. Okay. So I've been involved in healthcare for, probably close to 30 years now. So I'm going to restrict my comments to what I hear in healthcare, but I suspect this is similar across the other areas as well too. So the first thing I would say to you is that investors especially are looking for really innovative use cases. I think, the day has gone where you can just say, look, I'm a crypto, or I've got a crypto, or I'm building a crypto. I think what they want to hear now is, what problem are you trying to solve? And you really need to articulate what that problem is. It needs to have, so the crypto really needs to have a function of the use case. You can't just declare use case. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I think is AI, and I've already heard it a couple of times. So just so you all know, I have a PhD in AI. So that's my background, and specifically in healthcare. And, AI, there is no doubt in our mind that AI is going to drive data, especially in healthcare, is enormous. It's big, it's fractal, it's complex. And this is where AI really shines, because AI has the ability to really mine this really, really complex data. And so the second thing I would say would be AI. The third thing I would say is that investors are now looking for companies that actually have a business model. So not just the idea, but can demonstrate that that idea has revenue generation possibilities, or probabilities rather. So the idea is what I'm being asked, and certainly what I'm participating in, is that companies need to have a very clear and precise business model, and with that business model, a proper revenue generating model. So they would be the three things that I would say that I'm hearing over and over again. And again, I'm saying that from a healthcare. If I was to say a fourth item,
Right.
I really like what DeFi is doing, and particularly in healthcare space. The idea, for example, that your healthcare can be an asset as part of your financial record is really interesting. It's an incredibly interesting proposition that you could have your healthcare actually be an asset. So there you go. That would be my summary of what I'm hearing.
Absolutely, Richard. I mean, great summary as a start, and great insights as always. I'm going to next move quickly to Florian, because obviously he is also very much close to the crypto token world, and he's built a stable coin as part of his project. So Florian, what are your insights? Just give us a perspective. Then we move to the fintech questions from other speakers. Florian, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been part of the .com bubble 2000, where I started my tech business. And so what we are seeing here with crypto right now is very similar to what we've seen in 2000 in the .com bubble. There was initially a huge surge of companies coming up with all kinds of business models in the internet. And we had this investors pouring money into it. And then we had this collapse and consolidation phase. And only very few companies coming out of this phase actually survived. But those with sort of business models, and those have become now the Facebook, the Amazon, all the biggest corporations in the world. So I think the same is happening here in the crypto space. We're not seeing a revolution only on the financial side, which is a huge sector in itself, but also on the technology side. So we have both coming together, technology and finance. So I think this can create a much greater impact on the planet. And we are in a time where we see there's a dramatic shift happening. I call myself a visionary. I'm looking really forward into the future, and I see a very positive future because I think that our systems are changing. It's not just, we are coming up with a new currency. There's something changing in terms of how we manage our, this planet, in terms of finance, in terms of social interactions, in terms of the economy, ecology, sustainability. So I think this is now a period in time where we see a massive change towards new systems. Decentralization is the key. I think that's what blockchain really is about. Decentralization, the end of power. And I think, what we're currently experiencing is kind of the final phase of the old system collapsing and the new systems coming up. So as I said yesterday, I'm really excited about what's coming, and I'm really excited to live in these times because I think this is a major shift in human evolution that we're seeing here that's coming up, and crypto, a big part of it. AI, Richard, I agree, the same. Both technologies are very, very important.
Absolutely. So yeah, awesome, fantastic. Thanks, Florian, for that. We next quickly move to Ajay. Hi, Ajay. So tell us, Ajay, some of the trends you see in the fintech during this time. Where's it headed to, and anything new in the industry or the market that you've seen that you would share with our audience and the speakers today?
In the fintech space, you're asking, right?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So something that I see is operations changing. Today, the millennial does not want to go to the bank, right? And how does that change? So things like neobanking are things that are catching up. Now, what's also interesting is the large organizations, the large financial organizations are also changing the ways that they're doing things. So you would see mergers and acquisitions happening there. and you would see new technologies being implemented across the board, right? The other thing is there are efficiencies being questioned across the board, like commissions, like middlemen, etc. Now, how can we reduce that? And these are the changes that are actually impacting the fintech space, at least in these parts of the world.
Okay, so am I the one who is little weak internet, or I couldn't hear Ajay for a bit?
I had the same problem. I think it's Ajay's connection.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, Ajay, we'll come back to you with more questions. Fabio, I just want to ask, take your insights as well about the trends in blockchain, fintech.
The trends are interesting in the sense that, yes, as Richard was saying, you need to, I mean, if you propose a project, it has to be the solution to a problem, but a real problem, not a problem that, you know, is made up or isn't something that people don't particularly care about. So we have a world in which now the cryptocurrencies have established their own ecosystem. We have a world in which blockchain has proven to be an interesting technology.
Right.
Now, the next step is in the cryptocurrency space, to enter real life. What do I mean by real life? I mean, they need to be adopted for everyday normal business transactions. And this is still not taking place for two reasons. Because the channel between the, say, banking system and the cryptocurrencies are clogged, but it's not clogged actually. They are closed by central bank and other authorities. So if you want to move substantial amount of money from your Bitcoin wallet to your bank account in euro, dollars, yen, whatever, it's an uphill battle. The second issue is the lack of a credit market in cryptocurrencies. This depends on two aspects. One is that the valuation, the value of cryptocurrencies is still volatile. So you don't have an anchor that guarantees the value of, say, Bitcoin or whatever else over a horizon of, say, 3 years, 10 years. The second point is therefore, the second element is that you don't have an economy that works almost exclusively or predominantly in Bitcoin. So before you can really have an economy like the how can I say, the dream of the libertarian cryptocurrencies enthusiast of an economy detached from central bank or other authorities, which is based on the currency
Right.
outside the reach of the central bank, is still far from, is still not in sight. So these are the big problems on which we need to work and to which we need a solution. It's not going to happen over the next few months, and probably will take a few years. But those who place themselves at the forefront of this development will be the winner of tomorrow's race.
Yeah, I think Fabio, you have highlighted the challenges very nicely here. I'm going to take questions from Florian Richard next to see how can we get that mass to believe in crypto next. But again, I just want to take Luis's thoughts about the PayPal. Why PayPal would enter crypto?
Well, it's logical. It's logical. This is the next iteration of where fintech is going. See, you have big banks, Citicorp and JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. They're embracing fintech. They're acquiring quietly small fintech companies that are providing solutions for problems, and they're going to systematically integrate it into what they're doing. Okay, you see, Square has done it. You know, everyone knows Square. Jack Dorsey of Twitter founded it and built an empire, another empire with that, and they embraced cryptocurrencies, starting with Bitcoin, I think Ethereum, and a few others. And little by little, it's baby steps getting to where they need to get to. Okay. And with PayPal doing this, there's an underlying factor for it. PayPal is global. They're able to have transactions happen, you know, seamlessly. You know, on PayPal, when you're using cash, you're paying a fee to do that. With their Venmo, you know what? There's no fee. You're transferring peer to peer. So they're incorporating that into their Venmo system. People need to be aware of this into the Venmo system, so they're able to actually go and have those transactions. But what's going to happen? I promise you this: that PayPal is they're already working on the possibility, and I know it, of them having their own digital asset for these transactions, because if they have a buffer between them and everything else and they hold their assets there and they just have digital, you know, their digital currency bouncing around, they're able to utilize these assets to do whatever they need to do and make more money on that. Smart move. And I guarantee you that the banks, the big banks, are going to figure out how to do it. Now, governments, that's a different story. You know, they're not looking to give up control. The United States will not give up control. You're not going to see that. People are saying it. It's not going to happen, because then you're talking about singularity on a global scale with finances. Not going to happen. Okay, you know, the politicians will not let that happen, but there are going to be other incremental things that are going to happen. You're going to have fintech, you know, the companies that create fintech products and solutions internally for these companies too are going to be prevalent, because you can have, you know, some sort of digital asset things going on internally. So, you know, I know that, and I need to say this too, because I was having a conversation on my show, my other show, about this, and you know, people have to be aware. I don't care, you know, if you're investors, if you are entrepreneurs, just be aware. Just because you have a product, don't think that, hey, I have a fintech product, I want to go and do a reverse merger into an over-the-counter bulletin board, a QB, a pink sheet stock, and you want to do that so you can be public and raise money. It's a smoke and mirrors type of thing. Just get the right legal representation when doing that with investors. Don't believe the hype. Don't just run to a company because, hey, they have fintech. I remember when blockchain, you know, exploded, where it has been around for years, but when it exploded, an iced tea company put blockchain on the end of their name, and they went from like a penny to whatever, $20, $30, because they have blockchain in there. So people have to be aware. Just be smart in what you do. And I just want to throw all that in there while we're going forward.
Thank you, Louis. And yeah, JP Morgan have their own coins. I agree to you. PayPal eventually will. I think with that use case about iced tea company, I think Richard is going to take us through a journey why he chose a crypto for his Vic Rods later on the show. Okay, last but not least, Gary, over to you with all your insights.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, let's look at I'm a country boy. I'm not Richard or I'm not Fabio. I'm a country boy from Pennsylvania. So I grew up on the side of a mountain. So what do I know? But let me tell you a little bit more the way I see the world. We've gone through an incredible digital transformation in the last 9 months. Our lives have been totally transformed. Look at where we are today here with Zoom. I remember, Sonny, 5 years ago when I talked to the initial investors, and they said, oh, I got this guy, Eric, and we just invested in Zoom. And here we are, he's worth $19 billion today. So let's look at where we are. So in terms of the banking, think about from a banking experience. You know, I don't know what it's like in your jurisdictions today, but here we can't get into the banks. You cannot go into banks now. You have to deal with the automatic tellers. Think about the banking experience. What was it? It's a high value touch. right? If you wanted to deal with your banker, if I wanted to borrow $1 million, I would go in and I'd have to meet with the bank. Well, those things have changed. So now remote process automation to be able to focus not on those low value tasks, but really the low value tasks, but really the high value touch points. Things like security, right? We've got how much data on each one of the customers of the bank. I mean, there's an incredible amount of data. I just read an article that said there's, 33 zettabytes of data. It's enough if you'd stack DVDs end over end and go 23 times back and forth to the moon. There's that much data, and it's growing 62% a year. So Richard's right. I mean, we got to look at that data. Regulations, how do they comply? Just had a meeting with one of the consulting firms, that person that runs RPA, and they were talking about regulations. How do they make sure they're compliant? There's too much data. Then if you look at the big data, as Richard has said, there's companies like Investment and Yodlee that allow you to be able to really personalize the experience, because guess what? I mean, I don't know how it is with you, but I have a private banker, and my private banker is not that good. I don't get the calls. I want a better banker. I want to be, last week I bought a car, and I got so pissed off. I just wrote the check for the car. I wanted to take a loan out for it just because I wanted to build up the credit. The guy didn't call me back and said, forget about it. I just sent a check. So I actually wired the money, didn't even send a check. And then the thing about AI. So let's talk about the personalized experience, AI and chatbots, right? To be able to at least make that experience. The whole idea is to make that experience more personalized. And of course, another thing is we don't think about is why in the world for payday distribution, why do we get paid once a month or once every 2 weeks? Why can't you get it as you earn it? And so payday distribution to be able to, so why would people need to get payday loans or loans? Why not just set it up a little differently? So those are the kind of things that I see from a fintech perspective. And of course, I write a lot about artificial intelligence. I love it. And not just AI, the ladder networks, variational encoder, auto encoders, et cetera. So it's the future. And then it's not just about being smart, it's about being intelligent. And it's not just about semi-supervised, it's about unsupervised, and be able to make decisions that are in our best interest. So anyhow, that's what I see.
If I could just touch on what Gary said about getting a pay-as-you-go type of deal, I think a lot of that happens because you have the fees you got to pay when you send the money. So once that's solved, I think something like that could be very interesting, Gary.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So the first half an hour, we've just got some perspectives around what's happening in the blockchain fintech space. Next half an hour or so, I'd like to know from Richard and Florian, how was their startup born, right? Obviously, Vic Rewards and Ecofinance. What made you to use crypto for your business? Like Richard, I'd like to start with you. Then next, Fabio, Ajay, Luis, Gary, we'll talk about investments generally in the space. So Richard, please tell us why crypto Vic Rewards. How was it born?
So look, so once again, I'm going to restrict my conversation or my comments to healthcare, but I suspect that this is general across many areas. Look, I've been, for the last 20 to 30 years being involved in healthcare, I've watched every company, and I mean the big guns here, right? So we talk about Zoom, you talk about PayPal, we have the same giants in healthcare, all right? They're monopolies, okay, in healthcare. Like, for example, there are some companies, they won't even talk to you until you give them their first $1 billion check, and then they'll come and talk to you about installing systems, okay? Now, the thing is, all of these companies know that they're in trouble. They all know. Governments know they're in trouble. All of us out there, and you're seeing it with COVID, healthcare is in trouble. It's gone. If the healthcare spend continues at this rate, all governments will go bankrupt. So, in the last 5 to 10 years, what I've done is we've created a group, a really smart group of people that started to talk around, well, how can we solve this problem? And you're never going to get governments, and you're never going to get organizations to change their software. They've spent billions of dollars on the software. They're not going to do it. So where blockchain offers a real solution is the glue. Blockchain can provide the glue between these siloed systems. So that's the first part. But that's the technology. The technology solves one part of the equation. As I look at all of you out there, if I told you that your healthcare was valuable, if I told you that all of you could earn from your healthcare, if I told you that your healthcare should be viewed the same way you look at your bank balance, I bet you're all interested now. I have no doubt that if you were earning from your healthcare, and why not? Why not? You carry your healthcare for your entire lives. So why are you not earning from it? Why are you not using it as an asset in a DeFi environment? Why are you not getting better insurance because you're healthier? Why are you not getting loans based on your healthcare? And so where the crypto space is really useful in the healthcare space is that it rewards customers. It has the possibility to reward consumers. Sorry, not customers, consumers. So where crypto is really, really powerful is it gives healthcare the sustainability aspect of things. So, and I'll go to say one more thing because I was really interested in what you said about PayPal. Okay, and you are right. We should be earning by the minute. We should be earning by the second. And that's what your healthcare actually does. Your healthcare earns every second of your life. Now, where I think we can tackle the problem of getting adoption through crypto, because I've been saying for many years now, in fact, if you go look at all of my presentations globally, you'll see that I am a huge advocate for crypto in the healthcare space. And in fact, I tell everyone that healthcare is the perfect use case for both blockchain and crypto, okay? But where I think you get real adoption, where I think you'll really almost subvert the banking systems, get around all the financial problems that we have and the financial blockers, so to speak, is create healthcare ecosystems. Open it up. Let coins, healthcare coins, trade with other healthcare coins. You know, there are so many smart IoT apps out there. There's so many smart IOHT, where H is healthy, right? There are so many good companies doing so many interesting things that are creating crypto assets as part of their decentralized apps. Let them trade. Let them create the market. And that's what we're trying to do at Vic Rewards. So what we're doing is we're saying, you know what? Bring them all in. Come and play. We'll provide a sandpit. Come and play. Because the more of these traders, the more of these companies that play in our sandpit, the greater value not just our currency have, but all the other players that play in the same sandpit. So there you go. Okay, so I think crypto has an enormous opportunity in healthcare. It's often forgotten because everyone talks crypto, talks finance, right? Well, healthcare is finance. It's the same thing.
Did you just say your token sale is coming up soon?
It is. It is actually. You know, funnily enough, we were completely self-funded. By the way, we've done very well through investors, and by the way, we are all entrepreneurs that have invested in our own business anyway, right? But we opened it up to the market very recently, and we've been hit big time. Lots of people starting to see that. Hang on a minute, this is a real asset. I mean, this is a real asset that no other companies are tapping into. They tap into the finance aspect of things, but they don't tap into healthcare as an asset, as a financial asset, right? So we've taken it the next step and said, let's go. Let's put this thing out there, let the market decide, because I think, you know, consumers want this. I genuinely believe it, and certainly that's the feedback we're getting.
Right. Fantastic. So
and then Richard, the insurance companies don't want that people to know that. Good thing that you're bringing that out, though.
It's interesting you say that, by the way. It's very interesting you say that, right? So what insurance companies are doing is they're creating their own crypto asset, but then they're doing the wrong thing. They're saying it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. I don't want to play with you. I don't want to play with you. They are doomed. They are doomed.
Like spoiled brats, right?
That's exactly right. Let the communities play, because what they don't understand is that will drive the value of their own asset as well too. Let the communities come and play.
Great. Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question? Because just to make sure I understand. So you're saying that information on each individual's health is an asset, right?
Absolutely.
The information on this asset will be stored on a blockchain, right?
Not specifically the information, because we have sovereignty issues, but essentially pointers to so it's a hybrid blockchain, but essentially what it is it's pointers to that information. But yes, essentially that is correct. Yes.
Okay. So how do you trade? I mean, how do you extract value from this information?
Okay.
How do you price, if you wish, this asset?
Yeah, perfect. So we go back to the insurance company. Okay, ready for this? Fabio, if you walk 20 minutes a day, I will reward you. The reason I'll reward you is you'll be healthier. You're a less burden on the healthcare system. I'm giving you value, which you can have a look in, i.e. your bank account, because that's effectively what you've got. And what I'll do is I'll create a marketplace where you can then spend that crypto on products and services, not just from me, but from all the other coins out there and all the other decentralized apps that are trying to do the same thing. I'll create the marketplace for you to spend it. So not only will I give you the reward, I'll even give you the marketplace that allows you to trade in it. And by the way, is this working? We have a rush of merchants wanting to participate in the VIC marketplace because it's a new business model. It's a model that they haven't seen before. They've got a new way of generating revenue that they have not seen before. Now, Sonny, I'm taking up a lot of time, so you're allowed to cut me off and go to Florian, because I don't want to take up all his time. But happy to have the conversation.
And I was about to interrupt and go right to Florian because I want his input on this. 100%.
I'm going to connect with Richard after the show. Florian, how was Nico finally born, and what was the reason? What problem are you solving?
Yeah.
And I'm to Gary, Fabio, and Luis and Ajay with investment questions. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, first coming back to Richard, I really like the idea of treating my health like an asset. So I'll go for a run afterwards and add that to my net worth. So thank you for that inspiration. I also wanted to add on something you said in the beginning. You said that, by now the healthcare costs will lead our governments to go bankrupt. It's already too late. The system is already bankrupt. We have 3 times more debt in the world than we have money. Now, there's no way we can ever pay back the debt because we don't have money to pay it back. And that is the ignorance in our system. We haven't realized that our existing system is already bankrupt. It's not sustainable on an economic basis, but also not socially. We have like rich becoming richer, poor becoming poorer, and economically, ecologically, we're trying to, we can only continue with that economy when we continue growing. And this year we won't grow. Next year we won't grow. So what happens is, obviously the collapse is something we cannot avoid. So about Neko, how did we start? How did the idea come up? So obviously it happened long before Corona. It started like in 2013. I had sold my last startup to a Silicon Valley company. So I decided to take a few years off and travel. And I traveled for 3 years. And in these 3 years, I started to realize that first of all, the state of the planet is much worse than I thought. I've always been an environmentalist and been concerned about the environment, but what I saw is like it's actually worse. And also saw all the social problems around the world. And I started to realize that the basis or the cause for all these problems is our financial system. Because we have enough food to feed everyone. We have enough medicine to cure almost all diseases. We have all technology to live sustainable. So the actual resources are here in abundance, right. But we don't have enough money, and money is fiction. It's numbers typed into computer systems. 90% of our money supply is digital, created by private banks. How ignorant are we to not understand that we could live in abundance if we had a system that provides the abundance?
And
And then,
that's a big thing, Florian, because way back when, before internet or anything else, you had people utilizing copper and rocks and even tulips to go. That tulip mania, you had even tulips as a form of currency. So these iterations that happen are, it's just going to bring us to where we need to be as a society.
Yeah, right. So Gary, with that, I'd like to ask you about how can fintech AI can solve the problem that Florian just brought up. I mean, what should the startups be doing?
I mean, the startups today, this is a greenfield project. This is the beginning of the 20th century, and Nikola Tesla had just worked on an alternating current. I mean, look at the changes that took place over the next 30 years. I mean, we're in the most incredible transformative time that we've ever been in. And so look at all the data that's at us. We are all in a state of infobesity, right? We've got, look how many email addresses you have, the Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, Telegram, WeChat. We're inundated. So as customers, we're inundated. We need to have very, very smart, intelligent assistants that can help us make decisions. Because look at your own universe. Each one of us on here is about 300,000 items in the personal cloud. The entire World Wide Web in 1996 was 257,000 websites. The amount of information each one of you has doubles every year. In 5 years with the Internet of Things, there'll be 10 million items. Tell me how you're going to make sense of it in your own personal life. You can't. So we need to have these artificial intelligent assistants, not smart, by intelligent mean can make some decisions for us to help us guide our lives. And this is over just the next 5 years. What happens later? So in order to do, I've talked to astronauts that are NASA commercial astronauts talking about going to Mars in detail, talking about where we need to do, what we need to do. We're just on a journey. I mean, there's 6 million Earth-like planets within the Milky Way galaxy and estimated now 200 trillion galaxies in the universe. We're not even, he says, when you go out in space and you look down at Earth, you understand how small we are and why we create so many problems for each other. It's unbelievable. He said it's a very soul wrenching experience when you go out. So we need to go down through the startups that focus on being able to analyze the data and, more importantly, make decisions with that data and make it easy so that we don't understand that it's happening. Those are the companies that'll go forward.
Absolutely.
4 years ago, I started a company called Eva, a Google-like search for the personal cloud, Findo, and we focused on remote workforce management, using artificial intelligence. Our business is up 38x inbound interest at the beginning of COVID. It's unbelievable. There's so much opportunity today.
Absolutely.
So I need guys just like Richard and Fabio, well, actually all of you, but Richard and Fabio, the PhDs don't hurt.
Fabio, coming to you. Yes, PhD, economist as well. So Fabio, quickly from you, as an economist, what's your insights about vision about the fintech, blockchain as an industry as a whole, and what should be the startups be doing to get that much needed funding?
I want to start a little bit elliptically. We have to distinguish between permissionless innovation and innovation subject to permission. Have you noticed one thing? In the past, let's say 20 years, 25 years, where have we seen progress? Company that from the proverbial garage have come to dominate the stock market and the economy.
Yeah.
The tech
In
industry,
IT,
I'd say.
in tech. Why is that? Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why Google? Why Amazon? Why Facebook? Why Twitter to a lesser extent? Because they operate in the permissionless space. You don't have a regulator telling how many searches you can do on Google. You don't have anybody telling you how many accounts you can have on Facebook or how many posts you can have, and so on and so forth. So the progress has been possible in this sphere because there was no government involvement. Things are different in healthcare and in the financial sector. Here you face the leviathan of government, and what you can and cannot do in those areas depends on the will and the reaction of the government and of the authorities. So we need to focus on how we can achieve permissionless innovation in these areas.
Right.
But if
So
I can
that's
say
the-
something,
Yeah,
Fabio,
go
you
ahead.
hit a great point, because with fintech in that area, you have banking regulators, you have the SEC
Exactly.
that regulates public markets,
Exactly.
and healthcare, you got HIPAA, you have these protection acts in place where with search engines and things of that nature, you're just doing things randomly, and the companies have, carte blanche to do what they want with the data. But that's something that's changing, but we don't know, like Google's on the hill right now, and they just filed a lawsuit against them. Let's see what happens. This is not the first time it happened to big tech, but we never see any progress with that. So it's going to be interesting, especially in the US, if they change that section 230. That's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, but let's see where in practice you can make some progress. For example, I give you a practical example. Here in Italy, there are a bunch of fintech companies that, through artificial intelligence, select companies credit-worthy. Effectively, what happens is that you are a company, you need working capital. In this particular example, you have some invoices that needs to be paid. These invoices are given as collateral. The company, the credit company, the fintech credit company, analyzes this information and gives you credit within hours, or maximum a couple of days if it's a little bit more complicated. So here you see an area where you bypass completely the banking sector, the banking regulations, and the authorities. Okay, and you can design it as a smart contract if you wish. We're not at that point yet, but you could design it as a smart contract. The next step could be to adapt, to extend the system to crypto, to the crypto world. So the credit can be given, instead of in euros or in dollar, can be given in some form of cryptocurrency. So here is a practical example where we can move. Another example is having a venture capital environment, ecosystem working in cryptocurrency. So you ask people who have piled up considerable assets in Bitcoins or Ethereum or whatever to fund startups providing loans or equity capital in cryptocurrencies.
And that's another good point, Florian, for sure, because in the U.S. with trading, you have ETFs that trade that are based on cryptocurrency. So the infrastructure is there. It's just getting that part right here done. So that's a good point.
That's a very good point. Loaning in cryptocurrencies, and Richard would also vouch. With just 7 more minutes into the panel, I'd like to take closing remarks. Keep it very much relevant and on time. Florian, what's your closing remarks, considering you're building a stable coin or built a stable coin, and feedback about VCTV?
Okay, yeah, to sum it up, I think for today, I think we've talked a lot about the various aspects of crypto, and we all agree that this is, the future.
Yeah.
I think what we've seen now is a consolidation. We have to go through a phase of crisis right now. So there's a lot of things that are changing. So it's a very, very fertile environment for new things to come up. And I'm excited to see what's coming in this space, especially in the crypto area. And yeah, enjoyed my second session on VCTV today with a larger audience and more interactions. So thank you, and I will join again whenever I have a chance to.
Excellent, thank you, Florian. Richard, over to you.
So I'll say that the last conversation we just had, the last bit where we talked about the fact that search engines don't have regulations. You're right, except for the fact, of course, they're going after Google at the moment, right? And I call these companies cat out of the bag companies.
But wait a second. They're going after Google because Google is using its market power to extract undue,
antitrust is antitrust.
So it's an antitrust, but again, they are not the honest broker of information anymore. They use their position at the center of the internet to make money.
But what
market power.
And look, I agree with you, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is I call these cat out of the bag companies. In other words, the cat is already out of the bag. They've gone for it. And now you've got governments and regulators trying to catch up, right? In healthcare, you're right. You've got HIPAA compliance. You've got all of these compliances that are all around the world. So how do you do that, right? I think the consumer is going to drive this. This is where I think Vic Rewards is going to be big. And companies like us in the healthcare space. I think we're going to let the consumer drive it. And you do that through marketplaces. And you'll have the same effect that you did with your Facebooks, with your, if we get it right, of course, with Facebooks, with the Googles. Let the consumer decide. And when the consumer decides, crypto's in, healthcare's in, crypto's in. Then let the regulators try and catch us. That's the model we're going after.
Agree. Hard to the consumers, as Florian also rightly said, right?
Yeah, the regulators are always behind. They're always following, and usually 10, 20 years behind. Look at our governments. If you work with them, you feel like you're working with a company from the 1990s. So they're always behind.
It's a time machine that brings you
exactly 20 years
back in time, 30 years. Yeah,
exactly.
In Italy, brings you back in the Middle Age, by the way.
But at least you get some espresso, so that's good, right?
Yeah. Not in Germany.
No, you get an espresso if you jump, in a year after 1492. Because if you go before then, there is no coffee. Coffee comes from America.
That's true. That's history.
By the way, Sonny, I have one quick question for Gary. Do you mind if I ask a quick question of Gary?
Sure, fire away.
What car did you buy?
How did you know I bought a car? So I ended up, I have 14 bikes. And so I have 5 e-bikes. So what happened is I couldn't haul the bikes. So I fell in love with a Honda Element. It's not a really crazy expensive car, but it's a kind of rare car now. And it's got, I wanted one with very low miles and I wanted black. And I had to search the entire US. I like kind of like older, interesting cars, like special versions. And I found it. And I shipped it from Virginia just for my bikes.
There you go.
I thought you were going for a Ford Flex. I don't know, Gary. What's going on?
No, I like the Honda Element. But I put it on my Facebook page and I had people start asking me questions about my cars. I should have said a Ferrari. You know what I mean? But I'm a country boy. It's a freaking Element.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, it's okay. Fabio, please closing remarks for the show and your feedback about VCTV.
No, pretty much I said everything I wanted to say. We need to be aware that, for example, in the area of payment system, the central banks are catching up. You know that the People's Bank of China is already
CBDC.
starting the digital currency. It's not a cryptocurrency, probably. I don't know if there will be blockchain behind it, but anyway, they will use, they will step in the digital payment system, and they will centralize the system within the central bank. The European Central Bank is also studying it. They have already the infrastructure. Now it's used for bulk payments, but it can be extended to individuals and firms. So the element, the say PayPal element of the cryptocurrency will be eroded for most of the population. So that area, which has been one of the main assets for cryptocurrencies, will somehow die out or lose importance. So we have to be, the crypto enthusiasts have to move a step up and create the ecosystem for the wider use of cryptocurrencies.
Absolutely.
Beyond the simple exchange of value.
That's where Richard and Florian come into play. Thank you. Fabio, what's your feedback about VCTV? Because you're coming back after a little gap.
I know I always get rave reviews. It's an interesting platform because it allows all of us from different parts of the world to interact, to get a glimpse of what's going on in areas where we might not have sensors. And so it's a refreshing experience. And every time I participate in one of these events, I'm glad I did.
Thank you so much for those remarks. Thank you, Fabio. And we'll definitely have you back. Louis.
Just really quick, as I say, when I come on the show, I love coming on here, you, Minnie Mouse, and the panel. I always like connecting with people, whether we do business or not. So anyone on the panel, feel free to connect with me. And I think that with over 1 billion transactions, mobile transactions transpiring now in this year, we're going to see the evolution of fintech. You're going to have more banks, the brick and mortar changing to being more digital. All this stuff is happening, the PayPal and how their system works. And Fabio said it, that's going to be the MySpace of the fintech world. And that's why they're changing. That's why they're evolving. And we're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see your major banks. JP Morgan is going to be the lead on this. I'm telling you, they're going to do a lot of stuff. So we have to keep a lookout. And for entrepreneurs and creators that are in this space, don't follow the leader. Look for solutions to a problem. Look for a solution to a problem, and you're going to get interest from a big player. Watch is going to happen. And anyway, thank you, Sonny, and thank you, Minnie Mouse, for making all this happen.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you. Always love to have you on our panel. Gary, over to you, please.
Yeah, so, in terms of the direction, I think this is the greatest time. I've been through the dot-com bubble. We actually did an IPO of a company in March of 2000. Remember, it hit. Actually, June of 2000, March it hit. The company was Click Software. People said we couldn't do it. We did it. If we wouldn't have done it, we probably wouldn't be in business. The company sold 14 months ago for $1.3 billion. So I've been through these trying times. I read a book. I'm a psychologist too. And I read a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And, in the darkest times, you need hope. And the situation, hope helps us move forward. And the situation, what I really like, Sonny, about what we're doing here with VCTV is people have a chance to share knowledge and kind of transcend the pandemic and what's happening around, and to be able to still change the world. And this is a whole lot different than if you look at 1918, where people didn't have a choice because they didn't have the knowledge and ability to be able to connect together. And by the way, to still do business. So I deal with over 300 VCs myself, some large like SoftBank and Insight, and the opportunities are still there. Now we've really democratized. As my article, I told you, Nikola Tesla's dream comes true in Forbes, the democratization of opportunity. This is what it's all about. We've started to really level the playing field. So here we are from all over the world, from Australia to California to Florida to
Oh.
Italy, I mean, to Singapore. We've really democratized it, and it's truly exciting. And I like the glue that VCTV provides to bring people together to be able to talk about things that can make a dent in the universe, and that's just fantastic. It's nice to meet Flora today and Richard, and I've seen Fabio before, and of course Lewis. He's like a brother now. I see him all the time, and you're like my sister. That's fantastic.
Thank you so
Yeah, I
much.
wish you would have got a Ferrari. Then you could have lent it out now and again.
I can do that.
We should all go to US, Richard.
Yeah, come on
Yes.
over. No, we'll go to Italy. We'll go where the Ferraris are.
It's actually
coming.
not too far from here. It's like 40 kilometers from here, the headquarters of
Yes.
Is that an offer?
Maranello.
Florian,
I guess we're making a road trip. Come
We're
on,
coming
Gary. Let's
over.
go.
Yeah, and like less than 20 kilometers, the factory of Lamborghini and the headquarters of Lamborghini as well. And
Okay,
Bugatti.
we'll
It's
we'll
all in
take
the
a
same
little
area.
tour.
It's all,
Sonny,
yeah.
Sonny, why do we do the next show at Lamborghini?
Let's do that. Why not?
Yeah.
We all get to.
I won't get them attention. Come on in.
I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
Exactly. I was saying, Gary, I'm off for Florida actually. When I was so jealous, he was up in the mountains, cycling and biking. I was sitting Singapore, like little closed city. So let's all go together, plan and do a VCTV.
Come on over. Yeah, definitely. And Lewis?
Yeah.
Sounds
Make
good.
things happen.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for making this panel really fun, besides informative. I really appreciate the kind of bonding between Gary, Richard, Lewis, Fabio, Florian today. It's a very unique set of panel today where people actually bonded right in front of my eyes. And I was actually watching how people are really bonding and sharing information and building relationships and talking about road trips after the pandemic. I mean, this is amazing. This is what VCTV does.
You got to put it on your expense account there, Sonny.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay, I'm going to talk to you, Valentine. Alrighty. Thank you so much for making this panel so fun and informative. Again, startups who are watching us today, you can always reach out to Richard, Florian, Fabio, Lewis, Gary from our website. Their profiles are getting featured on our website. And again, investors and speakers, you can always come and build a community like the one we have and be a part of this community by joining LATOKEN. So thank you so much and for watching VCTV. I come back tomorrow again. I come back Monday to Friday. I host this show Monday to Friday. I'm back again on another topic with another set of speakers. Till then, I would like to tell, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected. And I hope to see you back again on VCTV. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Sonny. Bye.